guys, welcome back to my channel. On today's Explain episode, we're gonna talk all about cooking oil. We will deep dive into the basic knowledge of oil and the 5 factors that scientists look at when it comes to choosing the best cooking oil. By learning this knowledge, you can truly understand what type of oil is the best to cook at home. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it, shall we? Hi friends, this is Erica right here. I'm a Chinese citizen, currently living in America. Cooking and traveling are my passion, so I'm here to share with you my favorite Asian recipes. On each Explain episode, I'll pick one ingredient or cuisine and explain all about it to you. So if that interests you, please subscribe and keep watching. The science of oil product has been improved every day, but a lot of them are still in the research process. There's a lot of debate on what type of oil is best for cooking, but we can all agree on one thing, that is the oil that is deteriorated is very harmful for our body. And that's what we're trying to figure out today. People commonly like to look at the smoke point and the pricing to judge if an oil is good for cooking, but that's actually the biggest misconception. To fully understand cooking oil, we'll have to look at many other factors. So let's start with some basic knowledge of oil, and then we'll look into the 5 factors that scientists look at to choose the best cooking oil for your kitchen. Let's go. Quick little trivia. Do you know the difference between fat and oil? So fats are solid in room temperature while oil is liquid in room temperature. Most fat are made from animal products such as lard and butter, but there are also exceptions such as coconut and cocoa fat. Oil are mostly made out of plants such as olive oil, sesame oil, soybean oil, sunflower seed oil, and peanut oil. If you're vegan, you might be using the vegan butter such as margarine and vegetable shortening for cooking. You might think that since it is plant-based, it should be healthier than butter, right? Since butter is so unhealthy as we thought. However, the way that they make liquid oil into solid fat is by hydrogenation, which creates a lot of trans fat in the process, and that can cause cardiovascular diseases. So that's definitely not the most healthy option. When fats and oil come in contact with warmth, light, and air, it starts to break down and become rancid. That's why we need to keep some of the vulnerable oil in the refrigerator, such as homemade lard and flaxseed oil. And that's also the reason why most of the oil containers are not see-through. Now you have a little basic knowledge of oil and fat, let's take a look at the 5 factors that scientists like to look at when it comes to cooking oil. Number 1, smoke points. The most commonly used ways to judge a oil is good or not for cooking is its smoking point. Using these oils as an example, you can see that the top 3 highest smoke point oils are grapeseed oil, canola oil, and sunflower seed oil. They're also known as the high heat oils. And the lowest 3 are the virgin olive oil, avocado oil, and coconut oil. So if you only look at the smoke point, the formers are better than the latters. But this is actually a common misconception because oil composition is complex. Oil also contains water, protein, antioxidant, and many other compounds. So the steam that you see first coming out of the pot is probably not even oil but the water content inside. Smoke is something that we can see with our eyes, but the things that we couldn't see is actually the things that are causing issue to our bodies. Also, the oil that stay really hot for a long period of time will slowly become harmful because of the chemical reaction that we'll talk about later. But this scenario don't really happen in home cooking unless you're deep frying. Low smoke point oil means it starts smoking faster, but it doesn't mean that it becomes harmful sooner. So using just the smoke point to judge if an oil is good for frying or not is just a little bit misleading. The next thing we want to look at is if the oil is refined or not. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying refined oil is definitely bad because some oil would not even be edible without refining. For example, the rice bran oil. Refining can extend shelf life first of all and eliminate the impurity, bitterness, and strong aroma for a better sell. Refining can also increase its smoke point, but at the same time causing the antioxidant and other nutrition to be lost in the process, just like refined white rice and flours. And that brings us to another very important factor, the antioxidant amount. A lot of plant-based oil are packed with antioxidants. such as cold-pressed peanut oil, sesame oil, and most out of all, the extra virgin olive oil. But as we mentioned earlier, the refining process will filter out the antioxidant and nutrition in our plants. So to preserve the antioxidant content in our oil, we want to try to choose the one that is not refined for cooking. Using olive oil as an example, you probably heard of the EVOO, VOO, and OO, which stands for the extra virgin olive oil, and normal olive oil. The EVOO is made by using a mechanical process called certification, which is a physical process to separate the oil from the plant. You might hear people calling it cold press, even though it is not actually physically pressed. After they spin and shake out all the extra virgin olive oil, they will heat up the olive and create the normal olive oil. So the regular olive oil is the refined type of olive oil. That's why you can see in this chart that the normal olive oil has a small increase on smoke point compared to extra virgin olive oil. Now, why is antioxidant amount important in choosing cooking oil? To learn about that, we'll have to talk about another factor, the oxidative stability. Oxidative stability is the stability between molecules' reaction to oxygen, which causes spoilage. The higher the stability, the more suitable it is to be heated up. We can look at the oil's saturated fat, polyunsaturated fat, and monounsaturated fat ratio to have a basic understanding of its stability. Because saturated fat has a very stable molecule that is not very reactive. For unsaturated fat, monounsaturated fat is more stable than the polyunsaturated fat because there's only one double bond on the monounsaturated fat molecule. The red line here on this chart is the research done to heat the oil up to around 110 Celsius and see how long the oil oxidizes. The longer it takes, the more stable the oil is. So you can see here that if you consider the oxidative stability with smoke point, they're telling a very different story. And the winner here is obviously the EVOO as well as the coconut oil. And the lowest are the ones people nowadays consider healthy oil purely based on the smoke point, which are grapeseed oil and sunflower seeds oil. The reason why coconut oil is so stable, it is because it is mostly saturated fat. But our past science research believes that saturated fat are linked to cardiovascular diseases, even though the newest research are slowly disproving that theory. However, I want to still put it out there so you can put that into your consideration. So that leads us to the choice of olive oil, especially the EVOOs. Because EVOO is unrefined, which we've mentioned earlier, the unrefined oil can keep most of its antioxidants. These antioxidants are not only healthy for you, but it can also kind of cancel out the oxidation rate in the heating process, which make it more stable. But before we go to the conclusion, let's check out one other factor just to be safe. The polar compounds. Cooking oil in high heat involve a series of complex processes that affect the composition of both the oil and the food that is being cooked. When the moisture in our food reacts with oxygen in high temperature, hydrolysis, oxidation, and polymerization reactions start. These reactions change and modify the oil chemical composition, releasing free fatty acid and free radicals that combine into many other compounds. All these new compounds created by heat are considered the polar compounds. Some of these compounds may cause Parkinson's diseases and Alzheimer's, and too much free radical intake can also cause cancer. But besides that, it also creates aroma and a good taste that we like from deep fried food. So they're not all harmful, but some of them are. So how do we measure? Since there are always hundreds of polar compounds created by heating, it is impossible to measure them one by one. So using a ratio of polar compound increases after the oil that's heated, it is a reliable benchmark to measuring the degradation of our oil. So now you can look at this chart and look at the polar compound ratio. You can see that the canola oil is exceptionally high in the increase of polar content after heating, even though its smoke point is one of the highest. So that's why we have so many factors to judge the oil. You can't just use smoke point to cover it all. A little conclusion before we go, I want to talk about the 3 best oil that you can cook with at home. Obviously, we talk about EVOO, it is the best option, but sometimes EVOO can come in pretty pricey. So I'll say the second option that you can choose from is the coconut oil if you believe in the modern science. Obviously, there's more research to be done in the future, but the newest science believes that cardiovascular disease is not necessarily linked to saturated fat. So if you believe in that, the coconut oil is actually really good to cook with, and a lot of Europeans are using that already. Last but not least, there's also the avocado oil that have a less harsh taste than olive oil, but it is pretty pricey as well. The biggest consumption oil in America is actually the soybean oil and palm oil, which I never really seen people using that in their kitchen ever, so I did a little research. Apparently most of the restaurants out there are not using the best oil to cook our food. They might be using the soybean oil or the palm oil. And most of the finger food, the chips, and all the snacks that we eat that is deep fried are normally fried with refined palm oil. You might be able to find some research online saying palm oil is not that harmful, but if you do a little bit more digging, you will realize these research are done by the big corporation that produce snacks and chips. So that to me is definitely a little sus. And at the end, I want to mention those high heat oils such as grapeseed oil, canola oil, flaxseed oil. These type of oil is great to add in your salad and eat raw, but don't use them to cook ever because they're very unstable. Oh, and we didn't mention what is the VOO, which is the virgin olive oil. We talk about how extra virgin olive oil is so-called pressed, and the normal olive oil is refined with heat. Apparently, virgin olive oil is literally just a mixture of both. By mixing regular olive oil and extra virgin olive oil even just a little bit, they can market themselves as a virgin olive oil. So if you're gonna use olive oil at all, I would recommend you just get the extra virgin olive oil. And I think that's it for today. Thanks for watching to the end. Let me know if this information is useful for you by giving this video a thumbs up. It's only gonna take you a second, but it's gonna help my channel and me a lot. Check out this video to learn about the different type of iron cookware, and check out the playlist down below to watch other explained videos. Last but not least, don't forget to subscribe on my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!